Okay, so we are. There we go. Weird. Anyway, so we're back. This is GeoWill from Productions², and we're gonna go and pick up from where we left off earlier this morning. So let's see why this is not getting any kind of value for. It's got to be because or passing isn't doesn't have a value probably, which is interesting, and we'll need to figure out why. So, oh, wrong file. I'm gonna say I didn't think it was 5,000 lines long yet. Might get there, but shouldn't be there yet. So gold cost is where it's crapping at it. Here. So, I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. 2405. Yeah. So, base weapon gold form. So base weapon is not doesn't have a value. All right. Let's go up to the setter here. Okay. So I'm not gonna do any we're not gonna do any leveling up or anything. We're just gonna go right for the gonna grab 2 rounds of weapons and then go straight for the. Let's go ahead and get rid of this to test the synthesis. So, all right. So here's our weapon. We select it, and we come over here. So let's go ahead and close all of these. Oh, that was the only watch expression. Okay. Alright, so we want to find out what we have in this _wep stats wind.getWeapon. So game instance weapon. And what about the other one? This _wep donor list window dot get selected donor weapon. Also game instance weapon, okay. So now base is a game instance weapon, and donor is a game instance weapon. Gold formula, gold form, it's there. Oh, this _wep. Right. Interesting. So, all right. Let's rename this from base wep to wep then, so we can use that. Well, yeah, that's so maybe the gold formula should be, instead of being out here, should be a well then, but yeah, this has to change though. The best way to do that is to have it calculate at the time of the thing. So how do we do this? What if we just call it wep level instead of this .wep.level? And then we have of course now, wherever we use these at, we'll need to have a wep level variable, but that's easy to do. It's an easy thing to deal with. All right, apply. Okay. Save it, and we'll go ahead and close this. Now, anywhere we have eval, because that's where we're going to have these. or not .eval, just eval. So we need to have var wep level equals this dot underscore wep dot underscore level, and that'll help with those. Let's see, you got both of those there. This one's in refined, so same thing. Oh, and we'll also need to do ref level too. Well, maybe. No, we won't need to do that. Those aren't in the those aren't in the forms. Those are down here. Well, I don't think they are. Let me check again. I'm pretty sure they're not. So math pal wep level +1 2.5 wep level. Yeah, no, just wep level. Okay. Then I'm going to synthesize. Here, though, we have to say var wep level. Well, base wep level. So base. Crap. Okay, just base. We're not using the eval for the donor weapon. So wep level. Come on. There. Equals this underscore base weapon dot underscore level. And that'll help with that one. Okay, so that'll fix those. Let's go and save it. And then run this. And see if we still get a crash there or not. Current property level of undefined. That's a new one. Alright, where's that at? Console, same place, well, 2408, which is a little bit. Nope, that's the same one. This base weapon, this underscore base weapon to underscore level. What the hell? We've already established that base is correct. It's coming through correctly. Oh, base wep. Oh, seriously? I thought I'd spell out weapon. Holy Christ, okay. We've got a lot of fixing to do here. Might be easier just to rename those than to rename these, but we've already started, so. And then this wep ref, no, this is going to be, so gold cost time, so the weapon ref, and this is, wow, this is not right either. So what do we base this off of? Well, I guess we go with the base weapon. Yeah, so the beginning part of this would be the base weapon, and then we have the other stuff in there as well. So base wep. Gold cost, base wep. Keep on hitting 2 instead of. It's either 2. It's either 2 or it's V. It's like my nemesis right now. Can you push the keyboard back a bit? Okay, so this is going to go down to donor wep. So much crap to change. Okay, so there's those. Okay, that's fine. Nothing really to change there or there. So now, control we'll grab our selection here. So this dot underscore base weapon. Okay, and then in the selection, place all. Alright. Okay, now that that's done, let's see if we get any others. Okay, grab 2, synthesize. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so, well, we've got some stuff here. So level is 10, refinement 0, durability 0. That shouldn't be 0. We'll have to fix that. EXP 0, which is fine. It's good. There's no worry because we're resetting it. And it looks like we're getting blind added. That's 15%. And then plus 7.5% for guard, which that's interesting too. We need to put on a check to only grab the type 13s for now, the code 13s. So we're getting, this is a regular thing, regular attack selection, whatever. And that's what we're thinking about MV. Attacking and guarding are now technically, they're basically skills. And the guard skill specifically has a trait that determines how effective it is. It's really weird. Now we have an attack plus 2 over here, which would make sense because they don't have anything but attack normally. So let's see if these values are actually correct though. Let's grab there it is. Get the database open. Calculator man to the rescue. All right. So, that's interesting. Yeah, blind isn't in here actually. I'm not sure where that's coming from. So, so actually these traits aren't showing correctly either. I'm just more interested in the attack though. So it already exists, so it's going to be at 15% of that. So that's not right either, isn't it? It should be 35 times 0.15. Yeah, so it should be 5. Should be plus 5. So that's not right either. So we got some problems, and this isn't drawing as well. So let's see if we can figure out what's really going on here. First, let's go check out the stat window. Synth, here we go. So, we have params. Well, let's just do the base because that's all there's going to be really. So those two. We also could do durability to figure out what's going on there. And then traits because we need to figure out what's up with those. So traits. yeah, here. So for this, we want to go say if okay. So I want to add this down here as well. Not sure why it's doubling up for. My tab is behaving weirdly. Tab size is supposed to be 4 spaces. That's like adding 2. Basically, it's adding double what it should be. That's weird. Very, very strange. Okay. Oops, I nuked the semicolon. Alright, so we're only going to get 13s now on those, which is good. Let's save that and refresh. Alright, let's grab weapons, go to synthesize, select, and B traits exists, not defined. That's new. How come that didn't throw an error before? Oh, yeah, that's interesting. What the hell's going on there? Somehow they've managed to royally screw that up. Alright. Okay, here we are. So durability, what's going on here? So maybe this is rounding down to less than 1. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. It's less than 1, so it's rounding it down to 0. Of course, this is a level 1 weapon, so that makes sense. Really. Well, what the... that shouldn't be the case. Why is donor... Why is that 0? Max dur shouldn't be 0. It should be the durability. Durability is 0. Because it's basic iron sword. Even though we selected Katana of Darkness. So right off the bat, we're not selecting the right weapon out of here. Okay, let's go take a look at the donor list then. Specifically the select. And that's why we're getting the blind force, because blind doesn't exist on this weapon, but it exists on the database traits for the iron sword. Okay, so we open it. We're calling select, I guess, which is doing this. a couple of times. So when we click on something, it should say this index, which should be 2. Yes, it's 2. So now we're saying, so it's underscore selected donor weapon is undefined. Selected donor weapon. Okay, so now we have a value. Yeah, basic iron sword. Interesting. So that's 2. So as the game party weapons, does it have a 0? That's interesting. Game party. So we have 4 in this array. Ah, okay. So true. So what's going on here is that we are not considering the second weapon because that's the one we're using. So we have a list of 0 to 2, so 3 items, index 0 to 2. We're getting 2 because that's the ID, that's the index, but that's not the one we want. We want 3 because that's the instance there. So this is interesting. So we need to figure out a way to reliably pull the right ID. So you could say, well, we'll check for the name. Well, you could have multiple weapons with the same name, so that's not going to work. Could we somehow make a list, basically pull game party weapons into here in a variable, and then remove anything from it that doesn't match our conditions, and then use that to then compare against? That could work. However, the thing is, if we do that, it isn't going to modify it, because are we going to be creating an instance of it? Like what was happening before. Or do we... Because this isn't necessarily going to always be 1 less. Let's say we're using weapon 3. In that case, this is all correct, because 2 would be, or well, 1 would be the one we'd be using. We'll be looking at it because it's in the pref order. It's only if we are pulling one from the beginning of the list that causes this issue, because everything gets moved down 1. And well, not this list, but how we're displaying them versus the how the indices are set up for this select window and what's over here. So, so if we set up a list, we get the so we could build a list here of IDs which should actually just correspond to this. And then we could say is, while we're looping through this, if that ID is not matched here, remove it from that list. And then, with what's left, we could determine, well, let's see how that would work. So, I have no clue what is going on right now. I am literally scrolling, but it's not scrolling. Now it's scrolling, now it's not scrolling. I think Sublime Text is like freaking out or something. Close all other tabs. And we'll just close this one too. No. And we'll close this and we'll reopen it. I think I've had it open for too long. Theoretically, it shouldn't matter how long it's been open, but apparently it does. So, there it is. Okay, so on the here, so var wep list, or we'll say wep ID list equals a list for var wid in game party dot weapons wep ID list okay. So we're going to get the ID from every weapon in the list, and we're going to store it in the wep ID list. Now, if this so we have selected donor base weapon wep. Weapon is the currently examined party weapon. And then we're just looking at them, seeing if the weapon level is the same, if the ref level is the same, and if the weapon ID is the same, not the same, then create a new C item for it. And then also add the refinement thing to it. So we need to do an else here. Well, actually it should be an else if. Well, no, it's just an else, because if any of that fails, then it has to be removed from this list so we have a proper thing. So, else. So now this should technically be in a 0 to whatever index value, so we should be able to just say remove the index of the ID, and it should remove the correct one. We shouldn't have to do anything weird, so I think that's slice that we want to use. So wep ID list dot slice, and then the element we want to take out. So this dot underscore weapon dot underscore ID. So now when we go to call index on this, what we want to do is on this we want to say the weapon ID of Okay, actually this needs to go here. We'll call it wep list. Instead of doing this, we want to say list underscore wep id list WID. So we're getting the ID of the weapon that's stored in the weapon list, which is based on the index. As I think that slice renumbers the list. That's why you have to save it to a new object, is because it changes the list itself. Yeah, creates a new array and removes that particular element from your array. So, like for example, up here, slice 1. So instead of being 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that should work. Now. To actually see if it works that way. Okay, let's get rid of this stuff. So I'm going to put one here and put one here. Actually, I might want to put one here as well so I can, well, yeah, I guess so. So I can see what this is before we go into this loop. Alright, so wep list is undefined, yeah. Oh, it should be underscore ID. My mistake. Thought I was missing something somewhere. Okay. Okay, synthesize. Alright, now we got it. 1, yeah, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Which is how the list is ordered. So when we come down to here, we should see it say 0 is 0, 1 is 2, and 2 is 3. Because 1 should get taken out. Connect property ND of undefined on 765. Oh, because the, yeah. It shouldn't be this weapon ID anyway. It should just be weapon ID. Oh, no, wait. This dot weapon, this dot. So no, it should be weapon because that's the one we're looking at. But it needs to be weapon, not this weapon, because I didn't do that right. Alright, synthesize. Right there. God, it's going to throw another error. Now what? Still can't read property ID undefined. Seriously? Let me see. Var wep. Oh, damn it. That gets me so many times. It's like, oh, I'm going to modify it over here. Wait, how come it's still failing? Oh, because it can't modify it in the damn console. So now we come down to here. Weapon list is still the same. Because we're not setting it to anything. Awesome. This is what happens when you try to do coding after doing coding all day at work for a day job. Your brain is just mentally just doesn't function as well as it should. You miss things quite easily. Alright, yeah, because I only got one of those. Okay, there we go. Now it should be, there we go, 1 is 0, 0 is 1, 0 is 1, 0 is 1, 1 is 2, 2 is 3, no, because what we should have taken out was weapon ID 2, or 1. Alright, let's, that was odd. Okay, grab those. So weapon ID is 1. Weapon ID is 1. And right now it's 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1. 1, 2. Interesting. So it takes the first element out? Doesn't make any sense. What is, let me see. Slice, 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 slice. Cuts out a piece of an array. Example, take out array element 1. Orange. So yeah, it should just be fruits.slice 1. Maybe it has to be saved to a completely different array. So yeah, it's just the element you want to chop out. Or wait, yeah, element you want to chop out. So if we say 1, or wait, so 3, 0, 1, 2, yeah, 3, that's right. So it's the element you want to chop out. But in our case, this whip list starts out as 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. We cut out element 1. And what happens is that 1 gets added to 0. Which doesn't seem right. Maybe I'm missing something. Always possible. In fact, always probable. Okay, let's select this, and we're going to synthesize. So for var WID in game party weapons. So yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3. We take out element 1, and we end up with 1, 2, 3. So var test ID equals 1. Instead of that, I'm going to set it to fruits. We're going to make fruits again, so fruits. Orange. Yeah, interesting. Look at that. It does that with this one too. So, I guess we have to have it be. No, yeah, see, here we go again. It is slicing out not the right one. So if he is 0, what happens? It doesn't do anything. Wow. What the hell? Oh, interesting. This one has a different. Wow. Okay. So on this one, or was it slice or splice? It was splice. No, that's adding things in. Well, I guess you could just remove too. Remove array elements. So delete the last element, delete the first element, delete from the middle, splice 1 1. Okay, let's try delete instead of all this other stuff. So delete fruits. I guess we'll again do a test equals 1. There we go, yeah. So we have to do a delete. But it's kind of interesting though, it has a space here still. Oh, maybe, no? So what is, alert fruits dot length? 5? So there's still 5. So delete doesn't actually delete, it just removes the text from it. Okay. So splice index number to, okay, let's try splice. Fruits equals fruits dot splice 1 1. So now fruits equals that. Okay, there we go. Splice seems to work. So let's use splice then instead of whatever we're using here. Slice, I think. So splice from the weapon ID to 1. And now that should do what we expect it to. That is weird though. That slice doesn't work the way that maybe that's like a really old definition of it or something now on W3 School. That's kind of weird though. Alright, so synthesize. So now we have, oh yeah, right, we don't want to do the equals. Crap. Otherwise we get the one we spliced out. Alright. If you ask me, you should be able to restart it even if your pause breaked. Well, maybe not though. Because it's probably a specific keyboard flag that's picked up in the code for MV. The black box code, as I like to call it. And if your pause breaks, you're not going to end up going to that event, into that event. Okay, there we go. 0, 2, 3. Friggin' finally. Okay. So continue. Okay, ton of darkness. Good. What's our ID? Weapon ID 3. Perfect. That's what we wanted. So let's see how this loads this time. There we go. This is much better. Well, except for this thing. Holy crap. So yeah, here we go. There we go. Attack 5. Perfect. That's what it should be. Durability is up by 10. Bleeding up by 5.25%. And this is like plus 1.3 to a whole bunch of 9%. So, I mean, I'd hate to round it. Maybe we can round it to the nearest 10th. How do we do that? Or 100th. How can we do that? JavaScript round to nearest and to nearest 100th. So math.ceiling number times 100 divided by 100. Math round. So you have to put in. Well, no, that's what we want to do. That's not what it's. Math that ceiling number times. So let's try this on the traits. one we want. Synth. Yep. All right. So, we are traits. So sign and then the traits. Interesting. We're actually supposed to truncate. Or did I not do that? I didn't. Yeah, I did do that down here. Anyway, so the number times 100, then divided by 100. Ceiling on that, actually. I think that's ceiling. So D traits times 15 times 100. Math dot. Let's see what that does. Well, that's actually kind of more interesting. Definitely a little less. Just not quite what we wanted. So if we multiply these by 100 at that point, what would we get? I think it would get the values we want. Which is kind of strange, multiplying and dividing by 100 multiple times here. So this is what comes out of that. If we multiply that by, so 0.06 times 100 would be 60, right? Or 6% and 2%. So I think that's what we need to do. So after we do this, we then multiply it by 100. Well, wait, what if we don't divide it? What does that look like? I'm not sure that one actually gets hit in this case. Actually, it won't be hit, so it won't be using... let's go ahead and copy it down to the other one, too. Or never mind, no, yeah, that is the one I want. Or no. No, I was right. This one won't get reached because this one's for the ones that don't exist. We want to do it for the ones that are going to exist, and therefore be 15. Okay, so what do we get with this? There we go. Plus 2%, plus 6%, plus 5, plus 10. Good. This is what it should look like. Now, what if we do refine? Because we do have some conditions on those. So level up. Don't worry about the synthesize command window not loading here later. I just want to see. So again, there won't be anything new because blind will be on this now. But we will see. We should see counter on the list now. Good, so everything else is gone because nothing else has the same stats as this. Isn't weapon level 1, it doesn't have refine. So we select it, level goes to 10, EXP goes to nothing. We get 8, 7, and 6, or 8, 6, and 7 on there, so that's the, so the 15%. Refinement goes to plus 2, good. Durability goes to 33, or increases by 33, and we get 7 plus 7 attack and 2 plus 2 counter. Cool. This window works. Awesome. Now we just gotta make it work on the other end when we actually do the synthesizing. Now for this bit over here, because this is not well, we got the options here, but they're not drawing correctly. So. I guess we could try seeing if the save works still. Yay, property 0 undefined. So we've got something that we're not properly saving, I guess. I'll have to figure that out later. Okay, so for the window now, stuff isn't displaying correctly. We didn't call refresh on it, did we? I think we have to call refresh on it. So scene synth OK on weapon select, cancel unselected. Okay. So synth wind open should activate, then this synth window dot refresh. We'll see if that draws this time. Frankly, I'm not surprised that the save functionality doesn't work anymore. We've made a lot of changes since we tested that last. We'll need to go through and see what else we might have broken. Alright, so, just gonna select this, we're gonna select synthesize, select that. Okay, here we go, perfect. So we don't have enough gold to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and level all these up. So that one was pretty straightforward, it was like 800 something gold. Which I think is very reasonable. Okay, refine this. Alright, so now I'm going to synthesize. That gold's not reasonable. So, there might be a problem with the calculation on that. And then let's go ahead and hit OK and see what happens. Yes. Haha. Errors. Cannot read property 6 of undefined. It's probably dealing with maybe traits. Maybe. So it's on line 2625, and that's in base parameters. Okay, so that's interesting. So base wep, base e params. Okay, 6 would be, that's right, 6 would be for counter. So why does it say it doesn't exist? So base wep, base e params. Because we are calling the wrong thing. Duh. Okay, so there are those. What else? Looks like it might be a problem. I think that's it for now. Let's go ahead and we'll put a breakpoint on the gold cost real quick. Because something didn't smell right there. And of course I tried to modify it in the thing. So actually should be underscore on that one, and this one, don't know why it's not. None of those are right. Okay. Okay, so this .gold cost, let's get rid of all this crap. I just want to pull out the formula. God. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this one, that's interesting. Maybe there's like a 0 in here somewhere for some reason. That's even longer. Holy crap. Yikes. Okay. So if we look at that on here, obviously there's going to be zeros, so it's going to be less. Continue. Alright. So we're going to level this up. Get a refine on it. There's also, the thing is that it's also based on the weapon level, which was 1 at that point. Alright, so if we select this again, we go to synthesize. You can see that we have, this down here. Probably because of some of these values. So let's just kind of pick this apart and see what all these values are. So this to underscore gold cost. So the initial gold cost is that. That's interesting. The gold cost equals itself after all that. Doesn't seem right either. Let's see. This to underscore base wep to underscore ref bonus. 0.025. And of course the ref level is 1. And donor wep level and the donor ref level will be the same. Of course, the base level level. So let's just go ahead and kind of put these together in different sections. So of these two, we'll do the refine one right now since that's where we're at. So the first operations that will be carried out will be to add this all together. Which should come out to 4. Yep. And then we multiply that by 0.5. So which means that should come out to 1. Or no, 2. Half of it. Is not available. Okay. Then then this. So that should come out to 1 because, well, no. Should come out to, I think, 0.025 maybe. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So then it's that times the gold cost. Which is 41,725, and then that's plus the gold cost, and then rounded. So we'll actually just grab all this. Not available. So that closes off that one, that closes off that one. Okay. And then, so then it's this times times all that, which comes out to 2. So times 2. So it should be 34.21. That's still pretty low. Then again, like I said, we're so now let's go ahead and level up these to level 10. Well, we'll need to get experience for them again. But we're not going to refine them this time. So this should be much higher because now it's going to be 22, which comes out to 11. So it's going to be like 33,000 something, maybe. Or at least 11,000 on the cost to synthesize. Oh, wow. That's going to be a lot. Almost 1 million to synthesize this. Wow. That's a little bit too high price. We definitely need to dial that back a bit. What's interesting, though, is that alright, because refining, you don't gain anything unless you refine it. Right, that's what we said. After you refine it the first time, you don't gain per level, it's gained on refinement after that. So that makes sense as to why these are the same. But yeah, no, almost 1 million? Hell no. That's like masochist level gold cost there. So we need to multiply this by a smaller amount. So if we said a quarter, so 0.25, that would still make it. So this is like half of what it would actually be, to be honest. So this is like supposed to be like 1.8 million or something. So cutting that in half is 450 for synthesizing 2 max level, well 2 level 10, 1 refined weapons. It's still a bit high. Maybe times the, what if we said time, well it's, what if we said times the ref bonus, so 0, 0, 2, 5. So that comes out to 0.55, and if we use that down here instead of this, well, that's actually not bad at all, really. That's more kind of what I would expect it to be for a first refine level 10 synthesis. Now, what if ref level was 2? So in this case, this would actually be 4. So it wouldn't be 22, it would be 24. Just come out to basically 0.6. So a little bit higher. Or let's see, 1 and 1 is 2, 22. 2 and 2, yeah, 24. So to synthesize it again. But wait, we're adding 2 levels to it when we refine. So when we refine, we're adding both the refine levels together. So it'd actually be 3. We need another one at 3, so this would actually be 6. So this would actually be 26, not 24. Which would be 0.65. And this would actually be 3. Still, it's not that much higher. Of course, then after that would be 29. Well, actually be 32. So you'd have 2 that are 3. So that was 3. We're adding another 2 on, which is 5. So it'd be 10. So that would be 30, which is 0.75. 69. And another one would be 7, so be 34. This is 8, 5. This would be 7. Actually, no. It's not. It's the... So, the first one is 2. The second one will be 4. Let's see. First one is 2 plus 1. It's already a fine on there. Or whatever their fine is. It's actually be 3. That's 6. So then 6, 7 would be the next. Not 5. So it would be... This one would actually be the second. This would be the third synthesize. And then if we're going to do it again... we'd have something at 7 refs. No, rather, it would be 8. No, I'm doing this wrong again. So, the base plus the donor weapon refine level plus each other plus the original. At least that's what this is showing here. When we go to this, we're seeing plus 2. So it's already refined plus 1. We're changing it. We're adding 2 to it. So first refine we add 2, it takes it to 3. Second refine we add 7, which takes it to 8. Or no, we add 6, which takes it to 7. The third refine would be 14, which takes it to 15. And then the fourth refine would be 30. So this would be 50. So 1.25. So this would be synonymous with the fourth refine of this weapon. Or synthesize, rather. Of this weapon. Not available. Why is that? Oh, because we're not broken. Yeah, we don't have a breakpoint there. So 50 times 1.25. So yeah, once you get to the... God. Yeah, if you manage to get something to the fourth synthesize, which would be 50, that's kind of what this is supposed to be. So the synthesize is supposed to be for once you get a weapon to a relatively high power, you want to synthesize a few more into it to increase the power. Because every time you do it, you're adding 15 to 30% to parameters. So it's a lot more powerful of a event than just refining is. So as you're refining it, you're getting more and more powerful drastically on the weapon. So yeah, that makes sense. So let's see if this actually works now. Or wait, we have to change our stuff here. So instead of being times 0.5, it's going to be times this underscore base weapon ref bonus. Let me just check the code down here and see how we're doing with the ref levels. So ref level. Oh, that's right. We're actually adding. It's actually a math round. Is that what we're doing up here on the display? So, donor refinement. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. So it's actually a... So, the ref level times 1.5 rounded. So it'll actually go higher or lower depending on that. So, what we just worked out is not an exact example of how it would work. So let's actually go ahead and level these up to level 10 of refinement 2 level 10, and see what things look like at that point. It's kind of interesting how on the level up screen here, things are kind of, the text is different. We'll need to figure out the text, maybe the font size is different here. We'll need to fix some of those kinds of weirdness things. So as we've gone through and fixed things and done things, we've kind of broken things here and there. Gold windows. I still have no clue what's going on with that. It's like that one window just causes, the refine window causes everything to go to hell in a handbasket. Still think it's got something to do with the gold window, because that gets stuck open too. So now I want to level them both back up to level 10. Alright, level 10 of refined 2. Whoops. So synthesize, ton of darkness. Gonna get rid of these. So it looks like it's probably gonna be, okay, 58. Yeah, pretty much what we thought it was gonna be. Yeah, writing 3 to refinement. So now if we hit OK. Cannot read weapon, get property of, cannot read property, get weapon of undefined. So let's see, where's that at? Let's go ahead and get rid of all that crap. So that's on line 590, okay, that's up here. Level wind dot get weapon. On synth OK. So let's actually check. So we actually got to the OK part. So actually made it through the other code. Let's check game party dot weapons. So we should have one less here. Cool, we do. And then this one should be Refine level 5, cool, that's right. Max durability 202, level 10. 70, cool. It actually worked properly, nice. So what we need to do now is we need to see what's going on with that. We also need to introduce a new variable here called synthesize, so that it will disable leveling and refining on this weapon. So the idea is once you've synthesized something, that's where it ends. The only way to improve it after that is to synthesize it again. Similarly to how when you refine a weapon, you can't gain any bonuses from levels. Once you synthesize it, you can't do anything else with it. You basically have locked it into that refine and that, well, not the refine, but you've locked it into that the current state of it in terms of the levels and refines is locked in. You can't change it, and you can only do that, only increase the refines and the stats by synthesizing it again, which means you need to get another weapon up to the next level. So start off at 2 on this one, so now the next weapon we synthesize into it has to be level 5 at max level 10. So you kind of see how that works now. Progressively gets harder, costs more, but you do get a better weapon that way. So now, and the cool thing is it's got removed properly. We're using splice though, aren't we? On this, I could have sworn we were using splice or something. Where is it? Game, party, weapons, wep ID, this, remove, weapon. No, we're using slice. And it works on that one for some reason. Correctly. So slice, weapon ID, and the one that got removed was ID 3. Well, I'm not going to question it for now, unless it sometime doesn't work. So let me get weapon is undefined. Why is get weapon undefined? Rather, property get weapon of undefined. So for whatever reason at this point, level window, or what the hell is it? The level up window is not, it's, the thing isn't there anymore, which is weird because I mean it should be. We didn't get rid of level up window. I mean, we just deactivated it and hid it. We didn't destroy it. But this is saying it's undefined at this point, which is not correct. So, what are we actually doing here? We are taking level window and we're trying to get the weapon. Technically what we should be using is that level window, but we should be calling synth wind get base weapon. And there should be one in here for the base weapon. And if not, we're going to add it. But we're going to do it over here so it actually matters. Alright, that is weird though, that shouldn't happen. Like I said, I think this, somehow the reference, the variables or the members in the scene are getting deallocated or deleted or something, somehow. Dereferenced. So it's on synth OK. Just 2 underscore synth wind dot get base weapon. Then we'll go down and add it. Actually, no, it's get weapon. It is get weapon. Okay, that might have been what I intended to do in the first place, but didn't change it. So that should pass that to the stat wind. And that takes us back out to the action window. Action pane. Which should... do we pass anything to the action pane for that? I don't think so. Oh no, we do. We passed the stat window to get weapon. To the action pane. So is there on action pane? Do we have an update function for that? Or not that far enough? Because we should pass the new weapon to it so that it has it for whatever it uses it for. The checks and whatnot. So update weapon, yeah we do. Okay, so we just call that and pass to the weapon. Now let's go to the objects, because we need to add a new variable called, we'll make it as synth or something like that, and it'll be either a bool or it'll be not an int flag version of a bool. I'm leaning towards a bool because that makes it easier to handle in the if statements. So underscore is synth equals false. Okay. So now we come back over here to our stuff here. So if weapon level is max, don't draw. Else if so that'll be handled by the synthesis because the weapon level will always be max. But the refine now we have to say and if this dot underscore wep dot underscore is not synthed. Else do this same thing. So on process OK, just the same kind of thing. Probably a better way to do it, but for now we're going to do it that way. Also for refine, sound manager cancel. We also want to return on that one. Alright, so that should disable the refine and the level up when we're synthed. Now we need to set the synthed when we're going down here, so this dot underscore base wep dot underscore is synthed equals true. So let's have a look-see at this. The other thing is that it's not really beneficial to synthesize a weapon at level 0 because you won't get any of the bonuses from the levels. It might set you to level 10, but it's not going to give you all those bonuses. So you might even make it a requirement that the weapon's at max level before you can synthesize it. Eventually, anyway. Okay. The other interesting thing was that everything else got disabled when we got to refine, or at least the labels got their color changed. Yeah, no, we'll have to go through and fix that then. That's because of the conditions we just added. Okay, we're fine. Let's go ahead and level them up again. Actually, no, we don't need to. Once we're refined, we don't get anything from leveling them up. And in fact, it just costs more that way. Alright, so synthesize, ton of darkness, go. Well, that didn't quite work correctly, did it? I think it's that. I think it's slice. I think that's still an issue. It just worked that one time for whatever the hell reason it worked for. Yeah, so everything's disabled now. Still, that means that the conditions kind of work, and we're actually getting that set. So what did we do on this one again? We used oh, on the list, the weapon donor list, donor weapon list, whatever it's called. Yeah. We use splice, right? Okay, so we're gonna use splice instead of slice from up here on this, because that didn't work correctly. So splice, start at the ID, then 1. Okay, not rid of that. Should be getting rid of the correct one that time, with this one now. Now, those conditions. So we gotta rethink them, I think, so that they work correctly. Alright. So if we have that set, then we're going to disable both of these anyway. So I think what we need to do is we need to say we need to make this an outer thing. So if not this underscore wep underscore is synthed, then we check these two specifically. Now, so if that's the case, then max level, then we do this and this. Else we do that. We don't need to check for synths because we're already doing that. And no else. Now, this else needs to come on the inside. Because that's the else for the weapon level. So if weapon is not synthed, then if weapon level is max equal to the max level, then disable the level up. Well, change the opacity on the level up And else if the com list is on the refine index, then make refine fully opaque. And then if the weapon's not at max level, then change the opacity for refine. Now on this one, we need to say else. And in here now we have to say if this dot underscore com list index equals level up, or this dot underscore com list index equals refine. Then this dot contents dot paint opacity equals 125, else $255. And then we'll need to, let's copy this down here because we'll need this for this as well. On the processed OK. Okay, so if max level and com list is level up, then we want to do this. Else if refine, then we want to do the selectable process OK. Else if refine, set manager cancel return. Then let's do 125. Sound cancel return, or that should work for that. And then change this 125. Okay, that should theoretically fix the problem. We'll need to refine some weapons first to find out. Or synthesize a weapon to find out. So, yay, index is not defined. Because it's supposed to be this dot index, right? Yeah. Again, some of the issues of copying code from one place to another. Making sure you handle all those types of things. Oh, okay, we need some gold first. So that's interesting. Okay, no, this does work. What's interesting is that this part isn't working. So this WEP is synthed, not synthed. Else, if it is synthed and com list level is... Oh, that didn't save. So it was working, it's just the opacity was set to an invalid value. Perfect, there we go. Cannot refine and you can't level it up. Oh, there's a new error. Can't read property level of undefined. We'll figure that out some other time. So that's going to be it for this stream. Tomorrow, I think we will start debugging this and tracking down all the issues, besides the window not closing correctly. But the save issue, the level thing here, issue with that, and any other issues we can find. And then, if there's still time tomorrow morning, we will start on the durability system. But thanks for watching if you watched live. If you're watching on YouTube afterwards, comments, questions, leave them below. Would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow morning, probably around 8 or 8:30.